Svamagyanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurnilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. In Srila Prabhupada's last public Pandal program in Bombay in 1977, he was very weak, apparently, being apparently physically sick. So every night he would come and lecture. So he would start off speaking very weakly, but as he got more and more enlivened, he'd finish up shouting. Well, they weren't very long lectures, so maybe I'll end up shouting. One of Prabhupada's disciples, Panchadravida Swami, seen Prabhupada lying on his bed. He remembered Maharaj Yayati, his pastime given in the 9th canto of Bhagavatam. And he offered his youth to Prabhupada. So now I'm today remembering those days when Prabhupada was personally present among us. Today it seems to me like a very long time. Usually when I think of it, it seems just a short time ago, but today somehow it seems to me like a very long time. About myself, I think at that time of myself as young and naive at that time. But then, if I think I'm not young now and I'm not naive now, that means I've become better? I don't think so. If the opportunity to be personally guided by Srila Prabhupada, many times I feel that Prabhupada should mercifully chastise me. I'm very grateful in the last year Prabhupada gave me a personal instruction. Somehow or other I'm not ashamed to say this and telling many people, maybe because I'm so much enthused by that. But Prabhupada told me to write philosophical and educational books, which I was already doing in his service. I was inspired in that way to do that, but him personally telling me naturally gave me more inspiration. When Srila Prabhupada passed away, it was naturally viewed as a tremendous disaster among all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. And for several weeks after that, and extending into months, the leading devotees of our movement, practically every day, the classes were about how we have to go on taking Prabhupada's, we have to continue Prabhupada's mission, taking Prabhupada's instruction. It seemed impossible. We're supposed to be celebrating Prabhupada's appearance day, but when I think of Prabhupada's appearance, then we're left with the reality of his disappearance also. And of course, although we know that Prabhupada is present with us, if he wasn't, we wouldn't all be here. But at the same time, it's sometimes very difficult to understand why Prabhupada, having appeared among us and giving us everything, giving us Krishna and the means to attain him, and giving us himself, that while we were still very young and naive, we needed, in retrospect, it seems quite clear that we would have done a lot better if Prabhupada hadn't left us so soon. Anyway, for whatever reason, Krishna knows best. Every disciple has to prepare for this, that there'll be a time when we have to relate with the Guru by his instruction, that he will pass on from our direct vision. 4 of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada who had accepted disciples have already passed on from this world. It's easier for them than it was for us. Because I remember about a month or 2 after our dear godbrother Sridhar Maharaj passed away, I met some of his disciples who I knew, and I asked them how they were faring, how they were doing in the absence of their spiritual master. I said, it must be quite difficult for you. They said, yes, but not so much, because one thing, we were prepared for it. And another thing, we have the whole ISKCON family. We have so many gurus. And godbrothers and godsisters and cousins. We weren't prepared for Prabhupada's passing away. And although we should have been, I guess, in some ways. But Prabhupada, I had I'll finish that. I'm not going to speak on him. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada.